Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name's Miranda if you're new here, and I post about all things health, fitness, wellness, lifestyle on YouTube, on Instagram, and on TikTok. So if you don't follow me on these channels, go and check them out. But I'm so excited for this week's YouTube video. I'm gonna do a week of healthy dinners, which is exactly what I'm needing at the moment. I went on a little bit of a hiatus since my last YouTube video because I went over east for work to Byron Bay. And then all the girls pretty much got sick when they came back. And then I also went to Sydney. Have I been to Melbourne as well? I don't know, I lose track of the time. So in the last month, there's just been a lot of back and forth, and I'm just so excited to have a week of dinners and food that like makes me feel my best, that nourishes my body. Especially coming into summer, I feel like there's so much yummy produce, like berries in season, and I'm starting to feel like eating a lot more fresher foods like salads, and the warm weather makes having barbecues and sitting outside so much fun. So anyway, that is what this week's video is going to be. So if you've been lacking some inspiration in the kitchen, then this is going to be perfect for you. I've actually just done a huge grocery shop. I went to Aldi and to Woolworths. So I thought I'd run you through everything that I got for the week to start with, and that will probably plan out a lot of my meals for the week. I did a huge fridge clean out this morning. Oh my God. I don't know what was in my fridge. Something had leaked and it just stunk. And I had to take everything out, which I kind of loved because it meant that I could see everything that I had. I threw out so much just old like veggies that had gone a little bit limp and soggy. So we've got a fresh base to start with. So I'm going to turn the camera around and show you everything that I got. I'm going to be honest, there is some fun stuff in there. So I do love food, let's be honest. I try to eat healthy majority of the time, but I find that the way that I do stick to being healthy all the time is because I allow myself treats here and there. So there is a lot of balance in my grocery shop. And also for Shay, my husband, he does love a biscuit or two. So it's going to be a realistic grocery shop. First up is protein. So I got so much chicken breast. I got 1, 2, 3 of these. And I think they're like nearly 2 kilos each, which is probably a little bit crazy, but I always like to have spare chicken in the freezer, and I'll cook it up for my dog Barkley as well. And then I got some chicken breast mince because this is really yummy to make like little chicken nuggets or chicken meatballs with. Then I got some beef mince. I always buy the 5-star beef mince just because it's the leaner sauce, and if I'm gonna add fats to it, I prefer to do that myself with olive oil or, you know, avocado, stuff like that. And then I got 2 dozen eggs as well. I do already have some steak and some salmon as well. I also got some cans of tuna because I really want to do this sushi bake thing. So I always buy the spring water tuna, and apparently this one from Aldi is like a dupe of the Serena tuna, which if you're in Australia, that's like the bougie premium tuna that you can get from Coles and Woolworths, but it is a bit more on the expensive side, and they don't sell that brand at Aldi. So this Oceanized one in the yellow tin is meant to be just as good. And I'm really fussy with my tuna. Like, I'm not a tuna lover, but if I can have good tuna and in things like sushi, then I don't mind it. Okay, next up is dairy. I usually buy this brand called Yopro or Chobani in the big tubs, but they were completely sold out at both supermarkets. So I got some of these Farmers Union high protein yogurts to try because I usually put a little bit of this in my overnight oats and in my Ninja Creamies. And then I already have plain Greek yogurt in the fridge, so I didn't need a top up of that, but I pretty much always have that on hand. Then I got some light thickened cream because I want to make some chicken curry, and this just makes it nice and creamy. Then cottage cheese, of course, because I'm literally addicted to having cottage cheese, avocado, eggs. Cottage cheese, everything actually, let's be honest. Cottage cheese is having its moment, and it has done it for a while. And then this is the milk that I use in my Ninja Creamies. It's called Hilo, but apparently that's only a thing in Western Australia, and in other states it's, I think, just called light milk, but it's pretty much in between skim and full cream. It's like a halfway, so it's not the lightest, but it's not full cream. So that's the one that I put in my Ninja Creamies, and Shay has that in his coffee and whatnot. Then for fruit and veg, I always buy frozen blueberries because in my overnight oats, I just love the texture of having them frozen. And I also think that frozen berries are just so much more affordable if they're not in season. But I did get some strawberries because these look gorgeous and red and juicy. Mandarins are currently in season and Shay has been eating at least one a day. So I got some mandarins. I forgot to get bananas. I can't believe I forgot to get bananas. I got some apples. I feel like you're either a red or a green. Personally, I love both. Last week I got green apples and I still have one left. So I got some red apples this time and I'm loving dicing these up and stewing them. And I stew them in actually a little bit of chai tea, or you can just use water, some cinnamon, and then I put them in like a yogurt bowl. And if you sprinkle like a little bit of granola on top, it literally tastes like an apple crumble. Then I got lettuce and spinach. I cannot explain to you how fast I go through spinach. It's actually crazy. Some broccolini for curries, I think. Then some avocados, cucumber. I already have cherry tomatoes in the fridge, but then I just got some big tomatoes for like sandwiches and stuff. Some garlic, which I'll use in my curry, capsicums. I'm thinking I might do this chicken fajita pasta, which I do a bunch of capsicums or peppers if you're in the States. So I got some red ones and a green one. And then frozen peas, which I will add to the curry as well. Can't remember if I said cucumber, but a cucumber. And then I couldn't actually get the spudlight potatoes, which is what I usually get. So I just got the normal white potatoes. And I think I have a sweet potato somewhere. I don't know where it is, but I have a sweet potato lying around somewhere as well. Oh, I found her. This is my sweet potato. So, got a sweet potato to add to the pile. And that is my fruit and veg. Okay, so for pantry staples, this is my favorite pasta to buy. It has 25 grams of protein per serve. I'm pretty sure I've shown you guys this before. You can get it in the spirals, you can get it in penne, you can get it in the spaghetti, and it honestly just tastes the same. And then I also get this bread, which is a lower carb bread. I do really like sourdough as well, but if I get sourdough, I prefer to get it from the bakery section fresh or from the actual bakery. But Shay just loves having like sandwich bread, and I get this one for him because it's got like nearly 9 grams of protein for 2 slices, and it just helps him out, you know. It's also really high in fiber. And then rice cakes, such a good snack and super easy to have. I couldn't find the soy protein crisps at Woolworths that I get from Coles, and I want to do like this Rice Krispie slice, so I think I might just crush those up. Then this is my favorite brand for like seasonings and sauces. It's Mingle, and it was half price, so I just got some more tomato sauce because this is really yummy with chippies or like sausage rolls. And then yellow curry paste because I want to do my Thai yellow curry, I think, which is why I also got some coconut milk. Chili flakes, add this to my avocado cottage cheese with honey. Oh my God, I could literally eat that for breakfast, lunch and dinner. It's so, so good. Then maple syrup. Look, I'm not loving artificial sweeteners anymore. Like when I was younger and I was like so focused on a calorie deficit or macro counting, I loved all of the artificial sweeteners. But now I just find my stomach is so much better. Like my digestion is just thriving, having more natural sugars. But Shay does like to have maple syrup, and he prefers to have like sugars elsewhere, so where he can have like some lower calorie options he will. So that's why I got this sugar-free maple syrup. And then I got some cocoa powder because I want to make some more brownies, and I use that in my Ninja Creamies. And then some canned tomatoes and tomato passata. So when you buy pasta sauces, a lot of the time they can have like added seed oils and just added nasty. So I prefer to just buy like straight tomatoes and then season it myself. Then I know what's going in it. It doesn't upset my stomach, and probably way more affordable. I've never actually looked at it from that price point, but I say it would definitely be cheaper to buy your seasonings and just plain canned tomatoes or tomato passata and seasoning it the way that you want. So those are my pantry staples. I didn't really need a lot of stuff. But this is, just like a few basics that I get pretty often and some brands that I love. And guys, I'm not going to lie to you, I did get some fun stuff. So it is Halloween next week, and these were half price. So I just got a bunch of Kit Kats for the little kitties who come knocking. I've never actually tried the Cookie Crush or the Caramel Crush, so there might only be 10 of each by the time the kids come knocking. So I got a bunch of Kit Kats, and then Shay has this obsession with double salted licorice. It's like this Dutch thing, so I get this for him from the international aisle. It's not, I'm just like not a fan. Like Dutch salted licorice is a very particular taste. And then these are honestly like the most classic nostalgic biscuit. I used to have these when I was a kid with butter sandwich between them. And this is just like our plain little biscuit at night, like if we want one. Super boring, I know, but like such a classic, you just can't beat it. Then for my Ninja Creamies, I add about a teaspoon to a tablespoon. It just takes your Ninja Creamies from like an icy mess to perfect high protein ice cream. And then speaking of ice cream, I also got these waffle cones because my Ninja Swirl does the soft serve function, which is so fun. But even if you don't have like the soft serve function, these are just so yummy. And I'm pretty sure they're only 57 calories for a cone. And then by the time you add your Ninja Creamy ice cream, if you do it with like protein, you're literally getting like, if you have say half the tub, 15 grams of protein and like 150 calories for a really decent sized waffle cone ice cream. Okay, first dinner of the week is going to be chicken korma. I'm not actually sure if I've made this on my YouTube channel before or not. I know I've definitely made my butter chicken, but I actually prefer chicken korma over butter chicken, which is probably an unpopular opinion. So I've marinated up about 2 times the recipe. So I've done 1.2 kilos of chicken, which was just under one of those big packs. And I've marinated that in a bunch of spices. I want to leave all of the recipes in the description bar below if you guys want to try them. But it's turmeric, paprika, garam masala, garlic, and ginger, and then Greek yogurt as well. And I'm just going to start by making the sauce while that keeps marinating, which is the same spices as well as onion, some canned tomatoes, and I usually use almonds, but I don't have any almonds, so I'm just going to use almond butter, which works exactly the same because this is literally ingredients 100% almonds. So that is going to be the sauce, and then we blend that up until it's like a smooth paste. Cook up the marinated chicken, add that in, pop some of the cream in, some stock, and then I will add a lot of peas because it's like one of the only vegetables Shay will eat. And that is dinner, and I can freeze the rest for like an easy weeknight dinner or lunches and things like that. And I feel like curries is one of the only chicken recipes that I don't mind when it's frozen and reheated. Sometimes I find reheated chicken is just, you know, it just doesn't taste the same. Okay, for dinner tonight we're having steak and potatoes. So I've got 2 beef Scotch fillet steaks here. Usually I get either eye fillet or Scotch fillet just because, I don't know, it's like a leaner cut of meat and it doesn't have as much fat on it. But tonight we're having Scotch fillet. And then I've got some potatoes that I'm gonna do into little chippies. I'm just gonna dice these up into little cubes and pop them in the air fryer. I'll show you how I make them super crispy. And then while the steak's cooking, I'm gonna do a little salad with a little balsamic glaze. Oh my God, it's so yummy. So that is gonna be tonight's dinner. Super easy and honestly takes like 20, 30 minutes. The main thing is just the potatoes, and Barkley's scratching in his bowl because I haven't cooked him any dinner. So he's gonna have some steak as well, I think. But firstly, what I like to do is just dice up the potatoes. You can do them in whatever shape that you want, in like chip shape, or I'm just gonna do these in like little cubes. And then when I have diced them, what I do is I put them in a bowl of water and I steam them in the microwave for like, I don't know, like 5 to 10 minutes, just depending on how big you've cut them. And when you shake them up after they've been steamed, all the edges kind of go a little bit rough. And it means that you don't really need as much oil. The roughness just, I don't know why it does it, but it just gives, I don't know, better surface area for them to go crispy. So that's my little hack, and then I'll just pop them in the air fryer for like 15 minutes to get nice and crispy with a little bit of olive oil and some seasoning. I usually do garlic powder and onion powder. I've been dying to get my hands on this mingle seasoning chicken salt, but it keeps being sold out and they only sell it online. So that is going to be a new fave, I reckon, because I love chicken salt, but normal chicken salt just has so much shit in it. So the mingle seasonings are my favorite seasonings, and their chicken salt is just, I don't know, so clean. So these potatoes are in little cubes. I'm gonna pop them in some water. I've got these microwave safe dishes, which everyone thinks whenever I film and I pour like water over them into the bowl, like, oh my God, does that bowl just steam them? And I'm like, no, I do put it in the microwave. So that's what we're gonna do now. And then I'll salt and pepper the steaks. I'll actually leave these out because I think it cooks better if it's at room temperature. And then I'll just season it with some salt and pepper and cook it in a little bit of olive oil. Okay, so I just drained the steamed potatoes. They're not like fully steamed or boiled, whatever you call it. And then I put the lid on and I just shake them really aggressively. And then you can see like all the bits starting to come off, just the edges, and it just kind of makes them a little bit rough. Oh, this is such a good arm workout. I don't know if I steamed them long enough actually, because usually it does it a bit more. But you can see here, see how it like gets a bit rough around the edges? Like it doesn't need to be heaps, just a little bit. You can also add some baking soda to the water, and that helps them as well. Look, that's gonna have to do because I'm impatient. I could have probably steamed them for a little bit longer. Okay, I'm gonna do the garlic and herb seasoning from Mingle. Just a little bit of that. And then some salt. And then I'll spray them with olive oil. Also, a hack that I learned recently, it's not really a hack, it's just a tip. Buy your olive oil in the big jars and put it into a spray can yourself, because I used to buy aerosol olive oil sprays and there's like a chemical in the aerosol which isn't good for you. So get the normal olive oil and just put it in a spray bottle yourself. Mine is just from Amazon, I think. Okay, potatoes are good to go. And I'm gonna pop them in here. And put it on air fry, which does it to 200 degrees for 20 minutes, but I do shake it halfway. I'm just about to season the steaks, and I forgot that I got a new Mingle seasoning. This one's called Meat All-Rounder. I've never used it before, but it's literally just sea salt, onion, garlic, pepper, and olive oil, which is what I usually do on my steaks anyway. So I'm gonna put a little bit of this one on, and as you can see, they're just like such clean seasonings. I'll read out the ingredients actually of the garlic and herb one. So So this is what I used on the chips, and it has garlic, coriander, onion, black pepper, paprika, pink Himalayan salt, thyme, basil, parsley, and chili. So I don't contain any nasties. You just gotta keep it in a cool, dry place because sometimes they can go a little bit like hard and clumpy. But yeah, no added sugar, and they're also gluten-free, which surprisingly a lot of seasonings have like flours and stuff in them, I think, to make them thick and give like that good crunchy outside, so they're not always gluten-free. So I'm just going to do this on both sides, and then the key is to have a really good pan and cook it really high. So I let the steak rest after I cooked it, and then I've just sliced it up. I also made a salad with some lettuce, cherry tomatoes, cucumber, red onion, and some feta on top. And I'm just gonna put some balsamic glaze and wait until you see the potatoes. How good do they look? And they are so crispy. Hot. I also love this mingled tomato sauce because it doesn't have any nasties like sugars and stuff added to it. So that is dinner. I'm just gonna plate it up now, and I kind of forgot that I was gonna give Barkley some of this steak, and it's got the seasoning on. Sorry, little man. Okay, tonight's healthy dinner inspo is satay chicken, or chicken satay, whichever you call it. I'm gonna do it with some basmati rice and some veggies. This literally takes like 15 minutes to come together, which is perfect because I am starving, and I also have very limited camera battery, so I'm hoping that it's gonna last to show you how to make everything. But I'll just give you a quick run through in case my battery dies. So we've got some light coconut milk, which you saw in my grocery haul. I've got some peanut butter, and then I've got some curry powder and sweet chili sauce, which makes up the satay sauce. We're gonna make it from scratch. This is some of the chicken breast that I froze, which I'm gonna cook up in the pan, and then I just cook it through the satay sauce to finish it off. Then I've got my carrots and broccolini to have with the satay veggies. And then I've got some basmati rice, and I actually really like cooking my rice in chicken stock, or you can use bone broth, and that just bumps up the protein as well. Not so much with chicken stock, but with bone broth it definitely does, and it just adds so much flavor. So that's gonna be dinner. I feel like I am missing an ingredient. Oh, onion. I need to dice up an onion, so I do like to cook that in with the chicken. But yeah, so easy. It literally comes together in 15 minutes, and it's actually amazing for meal prep as well, which I'll probably make the full recipe, which is 4 serves, and then I'll pop the rest into containers, and then we can have it for lunch tomorrow, or I'll keep it in the freezer, and then we've got just like a really easy weeknight dinner or lunch on the go. Guys, I'm so sorry, but this is all that's left of dinner. My battery died as soon as I was putting the rice on, which I knew was gonna happen, and while it was charging, I literally made dinner because it was so fast and inhaled it because I was starving. But this is the leftovers, so I've got 2 dishes here that I'm going to pop in the freezer. I've got my basmati rice, my satay chicken, carrots, broccolini, and then I just topped it with a little bit of chili and peanuts. But I'm gonna leave all of the recipes in the caption for you guys if you wanna make it. And this one is so yummy for meal prep. Hello guys, I had a bit of a beauty day today. I got my eyebrows done, I got my hair cut, and I actually got so much cut off. I don't know if you can tell or not, but it just feels so weird when you first get your hair cut, like so short. Like you don't know what to do with it. Anyway, the reason that I was telling you that is because I actually did some meal prep the other day, and I did these sheet pan kebabs, and that's what we're gonna have for dinner tonight because I'm starving and I can't bother cooking. So with the sheet pan kebabs, the full recipe is actually in a short that I've got on my YouTube page. So if you wanna see the full way of making it, it's just like mixing all of the beef mixture in a bowl. You can also use lamb or chicken mince, and then you press it into a baking dish and then you just bake it in the oven. Super easy. And I've got some out, so to go with the beef kebabs, I'm gonna do a 2-ingredient flatbread. And this is one of my favorite recipes. It's literally just yogurt and flour, and then you can mix it up with any seasoning, spices, whatever you like. But we use this so much. We use it for pizza bases. I use it for scrolls if I'm doing like cinnamon scrolls. I also use it for naans, where you can like brush it with a garlic butter. So, so good. So I'm gonna do these as like a bit of a bigger version than my naan so that we can have it as a kebab wrap. And then we're gonna do a garlic yogurt sauce to go with it, and then just some tomato, some onions, and a little bit of salad. So super easy dinner, but I'm gonna show you how to make the flatbreads because that's the only prep that I really need to do, and also the sauce, and I might actually pickle some onions because I feel like pickled onions just goes so yummy. So let's get into it because I'm hungry. Okay, so all you need to make the flatbreads is yogurt and flour. I'm using self-raising flour, but if you only have all-purpose like plain flour, then just add a little bit of baking powder to it. And then I'm just gonna add some salt. I'm gonna leave mine with like no seasonings in, but you can also mix in, yeah, like garlic powder, onion powder, any fresh herbs you like as well. These are my flatbreads, and they turned out so perfect. Smells incredible, and these are the ingredients that I've prepped. So I've got my beef kofta thingies. I actually just heated one up here. It doesn't look too appealing, but I promise it tastes nice. I just made my garlic yogurt sauce, literally just Greek yogurt with salt, pepper, lemon juice, and some minced garlic. I didn't end up pickling the red onions because I couldn't be bothered. So I've just got some sliced up red onion, some tomato, some lettuce, and a little bit of parsley. And now I'm going to assemble it. So I'll start with the yogurt sauce, spread that over the base of the flatbread while it's still yummy and warm. And you don't need to make your own flatbreads if you don't want, but I just love them. So we'll just spread a little bit of the sauce over the bottom. And then I'm going to pop this on top, add some lettuce, some onion, some tomato, This is really giving homemade Greek gyros. Let's give it a taste test. Those flatbread are so good. The only thing that would have made this a 10 out of 10 is if I did like little homemade chips and put it in the gyros, but still so good. Good afternoon, guys. I'm actually making a lasagna for dinner tonight, so I'm starting a little bit earlier. I have already done a lot of the hard work because I'm using some leftover bolognese that I had in the freezer, so all I really need to do is assemble it and make the bechamel sauce. So you can do like a cottage cheese or a ricotta mixture as the cream filling layer, but I'm doing a traditional bechamel sauce for this one. So I use light milk, or you can use full cream milk, and then I'm going to do some parmesan or any kind of cheese you like. Then I've got this lighter butter and some Veta high protein lower carb flour, which is pretty much just a plain flour. And then to season it, I do a little bit of nutmeg, some salt and pepper. I've got my lasagna sheets, and then I'll sprinkle it with some mozzarella on top. So a little hack if you want to make it lower carb and a little bit lighter is to replace some of the lasagna sheets with thin slices of zucchini or eggplant. It's also a really good way to bump up the veggies. And honestly, you can't even tell, because if you do, say like a lasagna sheet on the bottom and then your beef mixture and then some bechamel, and then you like alternate with like zucchini or eggplant and you still have the pasta in there, you really can't tell, and it does add some really nice flavor as well. I am just gonna do lasagna sheets because I don't actually have a zucchini or eggplant, and I'm taking this for family dinner, so I just want it to be more of that traditional style. But lasagna is so yummy for meal prep, and it can take a little bit longer to prep, but honestly doing the beef ragu mixture is probably the longest part. So I'm gonna leave all the recipes in the caption, as I said, for you guys if you want to try it, but you can kind of just make whatever beef mixture you like. You could even do it with like lentils or something if you wanted to do more of like a vegetarian lasagna. But let's get into it because I want to get this cooking in the oven, and lasagna freshly baked, oh my god, it just smells so good. So first just want to melt the butter and add flour. Then we're going to add in half the milk. Give it a good whisk until there's no lumps and it will get nice and thick. And then add the rest of the milk in. Guys, this is the finished result of my lasagna. It looks so yummy. I'm just a bit annoyed that the cheese has melted into the middle. That always happens if you use instant lasagna sheets, because you can see how they like don't sit flat, they rise, so then the edges kind of lift up and everything sinks into the middle. I tried to cover it with a little bit of parsley or like make it look pretty, but I still think it looks yummy and golden brown. I love how the crust gets like all crunchy on top and then it's like all gooey in the middle from the cheesy ragu beefy goodness. But this is probably gonna serve like 5, I would say, and we'll probably have it with a salad. So if I take my camera, then I'll show you guys when we eat at my parents' house. But yum, smells delicious. Okay, I really want to show you guys what it looks like, so I'm going to cut into it. And I'll just put it in a container. No. How am I gonna do this? Yum. So juicy. Look at the layers. Oh, look at that cheese. Okay, I'm gonna put that in here because now I've ruined it. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this week of healthy dinners and seeing the meals that we have on a day-to-day basis. I hope that you guys try some of these recipes. They're all going to be in the caption below for you. And if you do like this video, please like and subscribe. It really helps to support my channel. I love you all so much. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in my next video.